מלאכי עליון, מי מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. בואכם, בואכם לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון, מי מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. צאתכם לשלום, צאתכם לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון, מי מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. צאתכם לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון, מי מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. דודי לי ואני לא הרואה בשושנים, דודי לי ואני לא הרואה בשושנים. מי זאת עולה מן המדבר, מי זאת עולה יקוטרת מור, מור ולבונה, מור ולבונה. דודי לי ואני לא הרואה בשושנים, דודי לי ואני לא הרואה בשושנים. ליבבתיני אחותי חלה, ליבבתיני חלה, ליבבתיני אחותי חלה, ליבבתיני חלה. דודי לי ואני לא הרואה בשושנים, דודי לי ואני לא הרואה בשושנים. אורי צפון ובואי תימן, אורי צפון ובואי תימן. דודי לי ואני לא הרואה בשושנים, דודי לי ואני לא הרואה בשושנים.
Now that we're warmed up, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Welcome to those who braved the cold and are joining us in here in the sanctuary this Shabbat. And welcome to everyone who is joining us online from the warmth and cozy comfort of your home, which is an extension of our home here at United Hebrew. And as we continue welcoming in Shabbat, we turn to page 120 in our prayer books. For those of you following along in the sanctuary, our prayer book has 2 sets of page numbers. We ask that you follow the higher page number, which is written in blue ink. And we'll turn to page 120 for candles and kiddush. And we continue to light 3 candles as we light this 3rd candle, still holding in our hearts those being held hostage in Gaza. And as we kindle our lights tonight, instead of our typical candle reading, I'm going to share a piece written by Rabbi Evan Schultz. And he, like all of us on this Shabbat, are thinking about, we are praying for and holding close in our hearts all who have been affected by the fires in Los Angeles this week. And he writes about the Shabbat candlelights. I don't want to bring more fire into the world tonight. The very flames that bring weekly joy and light have taken and taken until there is no more. When the Shabbat bride enters our pain-filled souls, I will gather her near and recite Lahadlik Ner, but I cannot guarantee that my salted tears will not extinguish and overwhelm the light. And so as we hold them close in our hearts and we kindle this light, this fire that is meant to bring us joy and warmth and peace, we also recognize its destructive nature. But we say our blessing, Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Blessed is God who sanctifies us with mitzvot and commands us to kindle the lights of Shabbat. And if you are able, I ask you please to rise. And there was evening and there was morning, the 6th day. The heaven and the earth were finished in all their array. On the 7th day, God finished the work that God had been doing. And God ceased on the 7th day from all the work that God had done. And God blessed the 7th day and declared it holy, because on it God ceased from all the work of creation that God had done.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam boreh peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodesho be'ahava u'v'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit ki hu yom techila lemikra'ei kodesh zecher litziat Mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol amim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ava u'v'ratzon inchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Amen. L'chaim.
L'chaim. You may be seated.
Here's something new for us today. This is Ya'aloz Sadai. This is Psalm 96. יעלו שדי בכל אשר בו יעלו שדי איי 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 יעלו שדי בכל אשר בו יעלו שדי איי 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 אז ירננו כל עצי יער 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 יעלו שדי בכל אשר בו
Page
יעלו
131, bottom paragraph.
יעלו שדי בכל אשר בו יעלו שדי איי 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 אז ירננו כל עצי יער 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 יעלו שדי בכל אשר בו יעלו שדי איי 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 יעלו שדי בכל אשר בו יעלו שדי איי 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 איי
Again, now that we are awake, some words for this week, but I first want to acknowledge and just say that Rabbi Reinhardt is on a much-deserved vacation after a month of holding down everything very well. So he is with his family, and we wish him a wonderful time. I think he's on a Disney cruise, so even better. This week's parasha is Vayechi, and this is the final parasha. It marks the end of the book of Bereshit, the book of Genesis. And Jacob's final words, he says, I'm about to be gathered to my people, bury me with my ancestors. And this, in thinking about these being gathered to my people, they reflect a deeper connection to a spiritual people and not just connecting him to his family when we think about ancestors. And Rabbi Moshe Feinstein explains that at this stage, and we know at the end of Genesis, the Jewish people are not yet defined by how many people, they're not defined by political unity. It's still a family until we get to the book of Exodus. And they are defined by faith and character, and it stretches back 7 generations, stretching all the way back to Adam. And Jacob's recognition of being a link between past and future highlights the responsibility that we all have in shaping generations to come. And he is speaking about this end of life with his family standing around him. And I believe that Jacob in his last moments is acknowledging his place as a link between the past and between what is an unknown future. He doesn't know. He offers a blessing to his children. He is in Egypt. He is not in the promised land, but in Egypt, with the very hope, as he asks his son Joseph to bury him back in the land, which he does do. And later we recognize that Joseph finds that connection when he, towards the end of this parasha, also asks that he be buried in the land. And then we find out later in the book of Exodus that it is Serach bar Asher, one of the descendants, who then knows where his bones are, and they bring them out of Egypt. But he reflects to his children in the blessing on the faith and wisdom, certainly that is passed down to him, but that he has experienced in his own life, while expressing hope for the future for his children and his grandchildren. We too are links in this chain, and we too have the power to shape the future through the values that we live and pass on. During my recent sabbatical, I had the privilege of visiting various synagogues and museums in Europe where I reflected on the diverse expressions of Jewish identity and community. In Rome, for example, I toured the Grand Synagogue and learned about the rich history of the Roman Jewish community, which traces its roots back millennia. The community there actually has its own unique ritual and rite, often described as Italian or Rome, born from centuries of cultural and religious development, specifically in Rome. The arrival of Libyan Jews in the 1950s and 60s, who were fleeing from North Africa, added another layer to the community's richness. Today, there are around 13 or so synagogues in Rome, each reflecting the diversity within the Jewish community. There are, if you go for a Google search, you will see there are Ashkenazi synagogues, there are Sephardi synagogues, there are what they call Italian synagogues, and there are Libyan synagogues. And they all coexist, each contributing to the mosaic of Jewish identity in Rome and in Italy. In contrast, when I think about this, in America, our understanding of Jewish culture and peoplehood has evolved. There once were divisions that were marked by different cultural rites, such as we know in the 19th century in St. Louis, there was the German synagogue, the Bohemian synagogue, and UH actually was known as the Polish synagogue. But those identifications have mostly faded. Today, the majority of synagogues in the United States follow what I'll call an amalgamation of Ashkenazi traditions, with some notable exceptions on the coasts where Sephardi, Persian, and Syrian congregations, Jewish congregations, thrive. This diversity, both in the United States and abroad, reflects the rich tapestry of our Jewish history and culture. But why is it important for us to think about our connection to Jewish peoplehood, to the past and to the present and to the future? In a world that often emphasizes universalism, it's easy to forget the unique beauty of particularism, the value of belonging to a specific people. While the focus is often on shared humanity, it is also essential to remember that belonging to the Jewish people offers us a distinct sense of identity and continuity that connects us to generations past and future. In an age where for some terms like nationalism can sometimes seem divisive, we can also think about it in a slightly different way that allows us as a people to celebrate the richness of being part of a group with a shared history, culture, and faith. Not meant to separate, but yet something as part of a whole, but also to recognize a shared identity. For me, while I've always grown up with Ashkenazi traditions, I find deep joy in learning about and connecting to other Jewish cultural practices. Whether it is, let's say in Rome, savoring the special Jewish Roman foods, like there's a fried artichoke dish that is known in all of the Roman Jewish community, or appreciating the unique baked goods. There are some that are marked with a, quote, we'll call it a burnt looking top, to indicate that these pastries are kosher dairy. It is a remnant from a time when outward expressions of Jewish identity were discouraged, and this was a way for a bakery that couldn't call itself kosher outwardly, but could allow for the Jews of Rome to know that this particular item with its burnt-looking top was kosher dairy, and they knew how to eat it and could take it home to their kitchens. These traditions remind us, if we know about them, of the beauty and particularism and the responsibility that we hold to preserve and pass on the distinct legacy of our people. And as we reflect on Jacob's legacy and the responsibility that he entrusted to his descendants, we have to think about our responsibility and our role as Jacob's descendants in shaping the future. Each day offers us not only opportunities to learn about ourselves and our people, but each day also offers us the chance to plant seeds and kernels of Judaism, of Jewish practice, thought, history, and experiences that we hope will bear fruit for generations to come and that will continue and contribute to the continuity and the vitality of the Jewish people. And this Shabbat, as we tomorrow morning with the reading of the Torah will end the book of Genesis, of Bereshit, we say, Chazak, Chazak, V'nit Chazek. We recall the past, we recall the present, and we think of the future. And may we strengthen one another specifically in our present to lead to a very strong future. Amen.
Amen.
And we turn in our prayer books to page 138, where we now will welcome in Shabbat officially with Lecha Dodi and welcoming in that image of the Shabbat bride. remain standing and we turn to page 146 for Baruch Hu.
ברכו את אדוני המבורך
Turn to page 148 as we join together in Ma'ariv Aravim, thanking God for this blessing of turning day to night and night to day. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro Ma'ariv Aravim, b'chochma poteach she'arim, uvitvuna meshane itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umisader et hakochavim, B'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono, borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or, uma'avir yom umevi layla, umavdil bein yom uvein layla, Adonai tzvaot shemo, el chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. And on page 150, we read together in the English. Everlasting love you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. And we turn to page 152 for Shema.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
And as we are seated, we turn to page 154 and we join together chanting Ve'ahavta.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם אלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
And we turn to page 157, and we join together at the top of the page. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there, except by joining hands, marching together. Page 158, Mi Chamocha.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש. נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים, זה אלינו ואמרו, זה אלינו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. You can do it, la la la, la 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 la, la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la.
And we turn to page 160 for Hashkivenu as we ask for God to protect us and shelter us with peace as the evening comes.
השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים, ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך. Amen. Shelter us. Shelter us beneath your wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. just God wrong from right. Adonai, Amen, Amen,
I don't know if Cantor Richmond knows this, but it's actually fitting that we just did this version. One of the composers of this particular melody of Hashkivenu, Rabbi Yoshi Zweibeck, though he is from the Midwest, he is actually a very long time rabbi in Los Angeles. So actually fitting that we think about this shelter of peace and God watching over us and guarding us. So I thought about Yoshi while you were singing us and leading us in this. And we turn to page 164 as we rise now for the Amidah.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Page 166. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu ve'imoteinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. Page 168. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה הכל אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד השלג. מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיה הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומסיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיה הכל. Page 170. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
be seated. And we turn to page 177 in our prayer books as we pause for a moment of gratitude. It's been a long week for many of us with this lovely weather that we've had and the snow and the ice, and then it came again today. And if you have children at home, my understanding is that this was really not a fun week with people supposed to going back to school. But there are still opportunities for gratitude. I thought today's snow was actually beautiful. If you looked out at certain places, it's the pretty snow. Although we still had the snow, that's the dirty snow, still there. But we take a moment for gratitude. We think of something that was good in this week that we want to just say thank you for. And at the top of the page, we join together. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'eh lehodot. And we turn to page 179 as we join together in a much-needed prayer for peace. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of every land. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Eternal One, who blesses our people with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamivarech et amo Yisrael, v'shalom. And we turn for a moment outside of our prayer books to a prayer for the state of Israel, a prayer written by our own Eva Ashner. Thank you, Adonai, for granting Israel the courage, the strength, and the power to defend her borders and her people. May the country continue to flourish. May Israel and we never give up hatikva, the hope that the day will come when Israel will be at peace with her neighbors. And may Israel always exist as a homeland for the Jewish people. Amen.
Amen.
And we now turn our hearts, our thoughts, our prayers to those still being held captive in Gaza. And today, as we understand it, there are a little over 60 who may still be alive. And we hope and pray that they will return and return to their families. And so too do we also pray and hope for the return of those bodies, of those who have been held but are no longer alive, so that for their families they may receive that comfort and that closure to this period. And so we offer this prayer, Matir Asurim. turn our prayers and our thoughts towards those who are in need of healing, our friends, our neighbors, those in need of a physical or an emotional or spiritual healing. And tonight, if you are thinking of someone who is in need, I ask at this time that you rise, and together we'll call aloud those names, adding them to our prayer this evening. We take those names in our hearts. You may be seated, and we join together on page 371, singing Mishaberach, our healing prayer. Take a moment for silent and personal prayer.
Adonai tzuri v'go'ali, Adonai tzuri, Adonai tzuri v'go'ali. Go and what it needs, what it yearns. When you breathe, go inside your heart and see. May the words of my mouth, may the meditations of my heart be kind, be true. May they be acceptable to you, oh my rock, my rock, and my redeemer.
Shabbat Shalom. I have the announcements tonight. Should I say, welcome. My name is Rabbi Rosenberg, and I'm the senior rabbi of United Hebrew Congregation. Tomorrow at United Hebrew, Torah study will be at 8:45 in the Jablon Youth Lounge. Our Shabbat morning service will be here in the Millstone Sanctuary at 10 a.m. and will also be on live stream. Upcoming events. This Sunday, January 12th at 10 a.m. at Congregation B'nai Emunah, watch the film October Hate. This is a film that is about the anti-Semitism that really took an uptick on October 8th, 2023. Yes, 2023, after October 7th in Israel. I saw the film this past Tuesday. I highly, highly recommend seeing this film, especially if you have kids on college campuses. United Hebrew is co-sponsoring with B'nai Emunah and St. Louis Friends of Israel. Musar and Mindfulness, Cultivating Balance and Wisdom with me, a class I'm teaching. You have 2 opportunities to take this class. It is monthly on Monday evenings from 6:30 to 8 p.m. The first class begins this Monday, January 13th. Or you can take it monthly on Tuesday afternoons. It's the exact same class Monday night and Tuesday, but just 2 different opportunities if one works better. Tuesday afternoons from 2 to 3:30 p.m., and the first one is this Tuesday, January 14th. Next Friday, January 17th at 6:30 p.m. is our Martin Luther King Jr. Shabbat service, and our guest speaker will be Dr. Cartelia Lucas. She is the Parkway School District's Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. I hope you will join us for that evening. Save the date, meet and greet for UH volunteers on Sunday, January 26th at 3:30 p.m. This is presented by the Cheryl and Lou Levy Volunteer Recognition Fund and Committee. Save the date for the 2025 High Society Honors on Saturday, May 3rd. You may submit your nomination for a dedicated UH member by January 21st. Please visit the website for more details on this. And for additional information on upcoming classes and programs, please visit the UH website. Thank you, as always, to our tech team for making it possible for all of us to be together tonight virtually. And please check our website or call the office for gift shop hours. Shabbat Shalom. And once again, thank you, everybody, who is here for venturing out on this cold, snowy evening. And we turn in our prayer books now to page 586. If you would all please rise for Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורל 591. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו
You may be seated. And we continue on page 592. When I die, give what's left of me away to children and old men that wait to die. And if you need to cry, cry for your brother walking the street beside you. And when you need me, put your arms around anyone and give them what you need to give me. I want to leave you something better than words or sounds. Look for me in the people I've known or loved, and if you cannot give me away, at least let me live in your eyes and not in your mind. You can love me best by letting hands touch hands and by letting go of children that need to be free. Love doesn't die, people do. So when all that's left of me is love, give me away. This Shabbat, the heartfelt condolences of our congregation go out to the families of Bruce Fleissig and Ivan Schenberg, for whom we are in this first 7 days of Shiva. We also think of President Jimmy Carter, who was laid to rest this week. We are in the period of Shloshim, the first 30 days of mourning for Bill Adelson, Marcy Connell Johnson, Essie Fish, Sylvia Gidlow, Charlotte Hoffman, Bernadine Bernie Kahn, Ray Kootman, Sandy Palins, Constance Connie Picker, Jerry Sinkoff, David Spencer, Linda Michelle Zweig. And this week, this Shabbat, we observe the yard sites and we lovingly remember Esther Alper, Carolyn Sue Altman, Jack M. Arbor, Nettie Balin, Joseph Barg, Gerald A. Berger, Dr. Harry L. Birkin, Marcia Sternick Birkin, Lillian Blumenfeld, Bernard Bornstein, Sarah Brooks, Harriet Cohen, Eva Cohen, Fanny Silverman Cohen, Rosanna Gacy Culp, Gloria Stearns Ellis, Sigmund Essler, Stan Friedman, Jack B. Gentle, Lena Gidlowitz, Palmir Gilbert, Jack Gilden, Nathaniel M. Glick, Lottie Clarice Glickman, Edna H. Goldenberg, Abe Goldstein, Charles S. Gross, Abe Handelman, Marcus Z. Himes, Esther Copland Katz, Jacob Copland, Anna Kretschmar, Max Kussmer, Bessie Kussmer, Mitchell Allen Lending, Gustav Levy, Francine Merriam, Perry L. Melman, Bertha A. Miller, Ludwig Mulfelder, Sue Pfeiffer, Sam Portney, Adeline Eichenberg Pozlowski, Jane F. Richter, Frida B. Rudman, Fanny M. Rovin, Jacob Sinofsky, Morris Schneider, Sophie Schneider, Max Scholar, Ruth Siegel, Loretta May Schulman, Anna Siegel, Saul Sinkoff, John J. Starr, David Strauss, Marion Strauss, Jeanette Sussman, William Tegman, David J. Unger, Florence Weinschelbaum, Minette K. Weinstein, Jenny Jasper White, Eugene L. Wolfe, Jean E. Zemliak. If one of these loved ones is yours, I invite you to rise so that we may recognize the memory of your loved one. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be a blessing. And I now invite everyone to please rise and stand with our mourners for Kaddish Yatom, the Mourner's Kaddish, which can be found on page 598. Yit Gadal ve'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah. Be'alma divra chirute v'yamlich malchute, b'chayechon uvyomechon, uv'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehe Shemei Rabba Mevarach Le'olam Olmei Almaya, Yit Barach V'yish Tabach V'yit Pa'ar V'yit Romam V'yit Naseh, V'yit Hadar V'yit Haleh V'yit Halal, Shemei Dekudasha Barichu, Le'ela Min Kol Birchata V'shirata, Tushbachata V'nechemata, Damiram Be'alma V'imru Amen. Yehe Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya, V'chayim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru Amen. Oseh Shalom Bimromav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom, Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru Amen. And this Shabbat, we will conclude our service singing Oseh Shalom, a prayer for peace. And one of the things that we can think about on this Shabbat is we think about continuity, we think about peoplehood, the beauty that around the world as Jews are gathering, we're hearing the same words, the exact same words of Torah, and offering the same blessings of peace. Some might be in a slightly different nusach than others, depending on that cultural tradition or rite, but we are sharing all of the same words. And hopefully tonight, as we are singing Oseh Shalom, so too are all of the other Oseh Shaloms that are being said, and all of us together are forcing out that blessing, that hope, that prayer for peace into our world. May it be so.
And this is a special Shalom from Israel by Navat Tehillah. Oseh Shalom bimromav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel,
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.